Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Martinez with Martinez Art Lab. Today we are looking at an artist named Wayne Thiebaud. And Wayne Thiebaud had some really cool art, which we're going to check out right now. Here's a photo of him so you can kind of place who he is. He's an American artist and he was known for painting kind of everyday American things. And the artwork of his that we're going to focus on is the work that he did that was based on sweets. He did a lot of sweets. So candy and donuts and sandwiches. So all of these paintings that he did, he used lots of kind of bright pastel colors. So we can see these really bright colors. And we can also see that there's a lot of detail, but it's simple detail. So if we're looking at these cakes right here, we're seeing just simple lines and swirls and shapes. So we see circles and we see circles and we see stars and triangles. And again, we see these very simple shapes, but put together and built up, it creates this really interesting and engaging composition full of these really delicious looking cakes. The last work of his that we are going to look at, we've got two more actually. So we've got some ice cream cones, and if we look closely at these, we can notice that it's not just an ice cream cone. We're seeing the different values in the ice cream cone. So we can see where the light is coming from, where it's light on the left side of these ice cream cones, and on the dark side, it's darker. That's where the light is not hitting it. So we can see some shadows. And then we can see the shadows that are cast by the ice cream itself to the right here of every cone in a similar spot. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our last image by Wayne Thiebaud. And we're looking at, again, more sweets. We're looking at all these sweet treats. And in this case, we're looking at ice cream sundaes and milkshakes, and they all look delicious, and now we all want ice cream. But before we do that, we're looking at, again, the composition of this, the different values that we see, the shadows that are cast on the ground or on the table in this case, from the objects that he's painted. So on that note, I'm going to head over to Google Drawing, and we are going to be inspired by Wayne Thiebaud and create our own sweet treat. I'm going to show you an example of a slice of cake. You do not have to draw a slice of cake. We looked at lots of different examples by Wayne Thiebaud. You can draw any type of sweet you can think of. So if you want to draw a whole cake, a slice of cake, cupcakes, an ice cream sundae, an ice cream cone, I want you to get creative and I want you to have fun with this. So treats that we looked at that we saw in Wayne Thiebaud's work, you can transfer that to a digital drawing that we're doing. So when we open up Google Drawing, first thing I'm going to do is double click on Untitled Drawing. I'm going to type in my full last name and then the name of the project. The name of this project we're going to title Sweet Treat, and I'm going to click off to the side. Just a reminder, whenever you type that title in, now your project is saved to your Google Drive. So when you go to turn it in, or if you're trying to find this file, you can look up this title and you'll be able to search for it and find it so that you can submit it or continue working on it or whatever you need it for. Okay, so now it's here. The first thing I'm going to do is use my shape tool to draw a plate. So I'm using my circle tool. I'm left clicking and dragging, and I'm going to draw my plate here. I'm going to leave my plate this color because I can change my colors after. Okay. So I'm going to leave my plate. I'll click off to the side so we can see it. I'm also at the end going to take away all those black outlines that we're going to see as I put on here. So now I'm going to go back to my shapes and go to my triangle shape. I'm going to create the sides of my cake here. Okay, so there's the first side. I'm going to take the color away by clicking on Fill Color and clicking on Transparent. So right now I just see that outline, and I'm going to copy that shape and repeat it. So I'll go to edit and copy and then click off to the side and edit and paste. So now I have 2 of those shapes, and I know I'm going to need to move one because I'm making a cake slice, right? So if I'm looking at the cake like this, my cake slice, whoops, I've accidentally moved both. So let me just select one of those and move the other one back. Okay, so they're kind of overlapping, and when I add the top here, it will make sense. All right, so now I'm going to draw the top on, and I'm going to click on my line tool, but I need to select this arrow that's a drop down. Okay, and when I select this arrow that's a drop down, I'm gonna click on my polyline tool. And what that's going to do is let me make a straight edged shape. Every click I make is going to allow me to take a different turn, and my first click and my last click need to end in the same spot. So I'm going to click, click, and I'm gonna go all the way down, click, click, and then click. So what I've just done is make the top of my cake. Now I can move that shape a little. I can see it's kind of crossing over, or I could go to my select tool and I could move this triangle a little so that it goes up a little. Then it's not matching on the bottom a little, so I can kind of change my shapes around as I need to. But before I do that, let's change some colors so we can start seeing everything. So what I did now was just select on the plate, and I'm going to change the plate to black just so I can see it well. Now I'm going to select the side of my cake, and let's choose, think of those colors that Wayne Thiebaud did. He used those really bright pastel colors. So I'm going to use a pink for the side. I'm going to add some details in, but I'll use that bright pink pastel. Now I've selected the top, and again, he used those really bright pastels. So I'm going to select a yellow. It's looking kind of crazy. I might need to start changing this plate eventually, but now that the colors are in, I can see it's not kind of lined up very well. So I'm gonna move this just a little bit and just kind of match up my shape a little more. And I'm gonna move and make my cake slice just a little bit larger. Might not work for me though, so let's see what I've done here. There we go, and we can make this match this up a little bit and move it a little bit larger. So I'm just kind of tweaking everything just to match it up. And I like what I've done here. So I've got a slice of cake. My plate, maybe I could make that a little bit larger too. And let's make our plate a nice bright color as well. So let me click that solid fill tool, and I'll click this kind of pastel blue. So now we've got these really bright pastels. Remember when I added my 2 triangles, this was my other side. That black line is going to eventually go, but for now it's there. We want it there so you can see it. And I'm gonna start adding some of the details to my cake. So this is a piece of cake that's been cut and is on its side. So if we're talking about on its side, usually cake has frosting in the middle, right? So I'll select this, select my, actually I'm not gonna select my line tool yet. We'll head back there in a second. I need to delete the outlines first, because if I don't, then this next step where I'm adding those line details, my line details will get deleted as well. So let me click my select tool. I'm gonna left click and drag to select everything. Then I'm gonna go up to my border color, which is black right now, select it and click transparent. What that did was take away all of those outlines, and it kind of made my cake look more realistic, right? So now that I've got that done, you can see this is the top of the cake and this is the side of the cake. Now I can go up to my line tool, select line, and then go right in, click on the top, and that's made me a line, and I can left click as soon as I see my cursor change from this to this, I can left click and drag it, and I want to go right to the bottom of the cake and create that line. And now I'm going to do the same thing. select my line tool, and then move it right to the bottom of the cake, okay? So now I've got 2 stripes that are gonna become frosting. In order to make them frosting, I need to select it, click border weight, click 4. I want a lot more frosting than that. So I'm gonna select 16. That looks about good to me. Now let's make it a little smaller. Okay, and we'll do the other kind. You can see the ends of our lines here, so we're gonna fix that in a second too. And we'll select 12. Now, we don't just have lines of black frosting, so I'm gonna select those, and let's make that more of a, let's see. Let's make it a light pink frosting so it matches our cake. There we go. So now we're getting a pretty cool cake. It's starting to take form now. I'm gonna just select that and make my lines a little bit smaller so I don't have that jagged edge sticking off. Okay. Just a little bit smaller. There we go. All right, so now we've got the sides of our cakes here, or our cake slice rather, and now I can start adding details however I want. I can add a checkered table, I can add interesting decorations to the top. Let's just kind of add some white polka dots to the plate, change them white. I'm going to take away that outline, so I'll click border color and click transparent, and I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to paste. And I'm going to do that 5 times, and then I'm just going to move those dots around so that we've got a nice polka dot plate. Okay, and I can change the size of my polka dots so they can fit a little bit better as well. And then I'll paste a little bit more. And we'll paste one more time. I guess 2 more times, so that we can fill up our plate with these nice white polka dots. So we've added some more detail to our plates. Now we need a table, so I'm going to take my shape tool. I'm going to choose rectangle. My plate is sitting completely on my table, so I'm going to draw a line above, or draw this shape, start it above my plate, go to the bottom. I'm going to change this color into, keeping with this light pattern, I'll change it to purple. Then I'm going to go to arrange, order, and send to back. So now I've got my blue polka dot plate on a purple table with a pink and yellow cake. I'm going to select my table and click border color and transparent, so I take away that black outline. And now I'm going to just draw a background for the top so it's not plain. So I'll do the same thing, select rectangle, left click, drag, and make that shape. That shape, I'm gonna take away the border color, make it transparent. I'm going to change that color to a pale yellow. So the palest yellow I can get. Let's make it a pale gray. And then go to arrange, order, send to back. So this is the start of my cake. I can add more details if I'd like to. I could draw a different sweet if I'd like to. I want you guys to have fun when you're making your sweet treat project. Have fun.